Hello everybody! Okay, so today I'm going to be continuing my reviews of the Cuddle Games, Chapter 22 and possibly Chapter 23 if I have time. So yeah, I called the Cuddle Games basically for these past 4 chapters. There's been nothing but Peeta and Katniss basically making out and playing relationship and doctor. And not that it bothers me, I guess, it's just kind of like, you know, okay, let's get on with the story now. But anyway, it's okay. It's not a big deal. So anyway, let's start with Chapter 22. I did read Chapter 23, so here we go. So this was kind of true. I mean, it was kind of obvious, but I guess it made obvious to me around the 6th chapter that, you know, she really does actually like her mom. You know, the fact that she always kept thinking about her and everything. And it even says that, you know, she was like, you know, she really misses her touch. She misses cuddling with her mom. So, you know, clearly Katniss is being exposed in this chapter. I mean, everything that Katniss is irrational with that I've ever pointed out, Peeta points out in this chapter. Well, not everything, but most of the things that piss me off about her. So that's cool, you know, she does actually miss her mom. Who knew? So this is kind of funny how, you know, I don't know if I said this in the review of Thresh or not, but, you know, Katniss's, you know, thought about why Thresh let her go was, you know, oh yeah, he just doesn't like to owe people. You know, to me that's like, I don't think that's true. I think that he was like, wow, you saved someone from my district and my district actually thanked you and you sang her to sleep, you deserve to live. Not, oh, well, I don't want to owe you anything. Like, you know, it's just she doesn't connect feelings. She tries to rationalize it. She doesn't connect the feelings part at all. She just tries to go, like, even though her rationalizing is not rational at all. So anyway, so I like how Peeta goes, like, he let you go because he didn't want to owe you anything. And she's like, yeah, I don't expect you to understand. You've always had it up, living it up, and, you know, you haven't lived where I lived. And, you know, I like how he says, yeah, I'm just too dim to get it, apparently. I like that. And then they finally talked about the bread that that he gave to her, and the whole time he's like, "Come on, you know why I gave it to you, right? Come on now." And then she's like, "No, I don't get it. I don't get it." And then this is what I like how he says, like, "Yeah, hey, Mitch told me it's gonna take a lot of convincing, obviously convincing Katniss that Peeta likes her." And it's true because Katniss is like, phew, right over the head with everything. And see, this is why, you know, for me to want 2 people to be together, I have to like each one. So when I don't mind the romance thing, but the romance thing is annoying when one person in the romance is literally just a self-destructing retard. You know, if you take Twilight, for example, I don't really, you know, read Twilight or watch Twilight, but, you know, I could never like Bella. And I could never like any of the other characters, so I don't give a shit who gets together with who. But with Katniss, you know, I just don't like Katniss at all, and I think that she should just kill herself, and Peeta and Gale can just kind of chill and be like, wow, you know, so much better without that bitch. There's so many other girls. So I'm just messing around. But if anything, before I go on with this review, if I had to say anything, I'd say that Katniss and Gale probably deserve to be together more because they understand each other, and somehow Gale's able to break through that irrationalness, and Peeta, well, Peeta really wasn't around that much. He never really got the chance, but, you know, I think Peeta's better than... I'm gonna stop right here. Those are thoughts that I'll leave for some other video, but let's get on with this review, damn it. Okay, so, I like how how they did that, and I like how there's some kind of, like, you know, the stereotypical girl goes collecting, you know, gathering food, and the man goes hunting. I love how it's kind of, like, reversed in this, and Katniss is the one hunting. He's just gathering berries and stuff like that. I think that's kind of funny. Anyway. Not that I think it should be the other way around or anything. I just like how she kind of switched the roles. So this is what just makes me hate Katniss even more. Seriously, I need to point out everything that's irrational with Katniss. I'm sorry, but it's just I can't help it. You know, I see so many people like Katniss, and I think, okay, now what could you like about Katniss? Let's list the things that she's likable for. Okay, she's tough. Okay, she's good at hunting. All right. Okay, that's it. There is nothing else. Oh, okay, she's an independent woman, but really she's not. Because, even though she seems like an independent woman, there's so much evidence in here to say that she isn't. She really wants her mom. She makes it sound like, oh yeah, I don't need my parents. I'm just so tough by myself. But really, she really wants to, have physical and, emotional affections with her mom again. But, hold on. Sorry. But so, and then with Gale, she's like, oh yeah, I don't need Gale. I know, he's just a hunting buddy, but really she really has a boner for him, and how is she like, I don't know. Listen, she's fragile. The toughest girls are super soft underneath, so anyway. So this is what she says. She says, they were talking about, the field that was like a cliff that was basically just tall grass and stuff. There could be grain in there, and that's probably why Thrush survived, because he knows about crops, because he, of course, he would know about that because he works in the fields. Not racist at all. Anyway, so yeah, he was like, yeah, Pete is soft, and, he's not a coward, but there's just some things you don't question too much. Now, let's analyze this sentence, and let's go back and point out the hypocrisy. You ready? She's like, it's just, and he proves, okay, sorry. But there are things you don't question too much. I guess when you're home always smell, okay, whatever, that is, the whole point is she's saying that, oh yeah, don't question, whether or not, there's dangers in there, right, whatever, just go with it, right? Okay, well, let's go back. We'll go back in the past, whenever she was talking about how, there's some kind of truth behind the coal mines and the mountains, and so there's some kind of truth that's hidden in the past. She was like, well, it's not important to question it. There's no reason to question things unless it leads to food. Yes, Katniss said that. It was one of my earlier reviews, I believe it was chapter 2 or 3, and she does say that. So now she's saying the opposite thing, and she's saying Pete is at fault for doing the same thing she did not that long ago. Probably 2 weeks ago in this book time. So, what the fuck? Katniss, you're a little... Okay. And then I love how she's like, oh yeah, Peeta must have it great. Peeta must have it great. And this doesn't understand me. Okay, she hates on Peeta because, he's got it good. He's in the bakery. He's living it up. He doesn't understand. But yet, for Mage or Madge or whatever, she's like, oh, I can understand her. She was born into the good life. I can understand her. I'm not going to blame her. But she blames Peeta. What the fuck is wrong with Peeta? No, not Peeta, Katniss. What the hell's wrong with Katniss? There's something screw loose in there. I'm sorry. Okay. So then, of course, she realized that she does not want to lose Peeta at all. And I love how I can't remember, I love how... Okay, I'll get into that later. Alright. So then, apparently, Peeta and Katniss truly kiss this time, and, Peeta's like... Or Katniss really wants to kiss him again and stuff, and, I think that's just... Oh, my God. I just love how out of touch with the physical connection there is. I guess that kind of has to be so, because if you think about it, if Katniss and Gale were doing the same thing, it would be real. Which makes me think that if Gale and Katniss were to be in the Hunger Games, the whole romance thing would be real, and they would definitely team together, and, even if they did have to kill each other. So I like that. But, I think it wouldn't be fair, honestly. Katniss and Gale would just, like, tear shit up. So then, of course, they cuddle some more, and... and then she feels safe in Peeta's arm, and seriously, this has been going on for so long, seriously. Since chapter 20 to chapter 23. I haven't read chapter 24 yet, but chapter 3 chapters of just straight up cuddling. Seriously. Okay, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't mind. I like cuddling myself, but, it's just kind of, we need to progress with the story here, Okay. So then we learned that, this is kind of funny that she said, I think it was kind of funny, I've said this myself, so Katniss is, going like, yeah, I guess we take another nap again, mostly to keep warm. Mostly to keep warm. What else is there, Katniss? You secretly like it. And she's like, the most exciting thing either of us do is nap, because you cuddle. Seriously, so much cuddling. I cannot take the cuddleness, alright? And then this is something that I kind of knew, but I don't remember if I remembered in my reviews or not. The reason why she doesn't like to sing is clearly, I think she even said it actually in the past, so it's not like any kind of prediction really, but she just reminds her of her father. I think all the things she says that like, oh yeah, I don't like to sing, it doesn't lead to food, and the truth does lead to food, and everything kind of changed after her father, and really I think she acts that way because her father died. It's clear, it's kind of obvious. I mean, anyway. And this is when Peeta starts telling Katniss why he likes her. And it's pretty cool. I like how he's like, you sing like an angel and everything. I've liked you ever since. And I've checked out other girls, but you were the most, impressive and everything. But, Peeta's reasons for liking Katniss are kind of lame. They're like, oh, she has the voice of an angel. Okay, so does, so many other people that have really good voices, but they're usually dicks. So, whoop-de-doo. But, it's okay. Peeta, I gotta understand that kind of lifestyle. It's just, I don't know. It's understandable, I guess. Still, Peeta, there's so many other girls. Probably better than Katniss. Anyway, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they're destined to be each other. So I've done 10 minutes. Let's do chapter 23 and get this over with. Okay. I love how Peeta. Okay, this is chapter 23. Basically, nothing's happened in the story. I would go over this. What's happening. Basically, they're just cuddling in a cave. Okay, that's all that's happening. It's raining outside. Great. So I love how he's like, remember you were saying something about, something about me and there's no competition and how I'm the best thing that ever happened to you? And she's like, I didn't say that. It's like, oh, yeah, that's right, I was thinking that. I thought that was pretty funny. I like how Peeta's making jokes with this, even with her, even though he should hate her right now, honestly, but it's okay. I'm going to let that go. So here we go, a little history lesson about the Hunger Games. So apparently they build houses in each district that is supposed to be dedicated for the winners, the tribute winners of the Hunger Games. But it says here that there's only been one person that's lived in District 12 houses, and that's Haymitch. But I'm pretty sure in the very beginning it said there's been two winners. So what happened to the other one? Did he just die? I don't know, it seems like a little plot hole there. Maybe she just means alive right now if there's only one. Because there was supposed to be another one. I don't know, maybe they died. I don't know. So anyway, I like how they're talking about how Peeta, Katniss, and Haymitch are going to be neighbors. But, I wonder if she can actually bring her family with them. So anyway. So let's go into why Katniss and Haymitch are basically alike. I mean, this is kind of obvious. I should have pointed it out, but I mean, I didn't really say anything because I was like, yeah, whatever. It seems like an obvious detail. But yeah, and it's here. It's pretty much revealed that Katniss is basically just like Haymitch, stubborn, whatever. I think Haymitch is probably a lot smarter than Katniss, but they were actually trying to wonder like, how the hell did Haymitch win? How did he win the games? And it's actually kind of interesting, but they said they probably outsmarted everyone, and I like that. I think Haymitch is probably just like a smart guy. That's why I wanted to see House, Hugh Laurie play him. I think it'd be a lot better than the other dude they have playing him in the movie, but because he's just like he's like a smart ass, he's a drunk, a drug addict, just like House. Basically, Haymitch is House essentially. But anyway, I'm sorry. So this is something I pointed out in my I'm not trying to boast or anything. I'm just trying to say that, there were signs of this in the past. It's not like all these things that get revealed in this book are said just now. Like, you should know in the first chapter. I mean, seriously, everything I said in the first chapter is getting revealed right here. And it's not because I said it. It's because, it's there. You just have to analyze it a little bit. I'm going to stop doing that, though. I'm not trying to boast. Because there are some things I missed also. I'll tell you in a second. But anyway, how he basically, the reason why he's an alcoholic is probably because, his experience in the Hunger Games, how he has to watch kids die every year, and how, basically, I don't know, that's gotta be traumatizing. That's enough to traumatize you. And she said, he probably was serious about it for a while, but then he just realized, wow, these kids from this district are just gonna keep dying. And that sucks. He probably, I don't know if he killed his partner, but, I don't know. Like, I want to know more about Haymitch. Seriously, I really like Haymitch. Haymitch is awesome. I think he has a good story, because not only is he like a goof, but he actually has like a dark side to it. He has like a dark history. I really like Haymitch. Haymitch is pretty badass. So then we learned that Thresh dies, unfortunately. But I guess it's good that he died, because if you think about it, if Cato died, it really wouldn't be so epic for Katniss to fight Thresh. It'd be kind of like, okay, we're gonna kill each other. But Cato seems to be like the main protagonist, you know, he's the one trying to keep Katniss down, you know, so, yeah, that's what I would say. So it makes more sense for Cato to fight Katniss and Peeta. And then, of course, she cries for Thresh, which is... I'm not even getting into why that's... Okay, it's good. It's rational, but, you know, she has feelings, and she feels sorry for everyone else, and she feels sorry. She doesn't want to kill anyone else. But Peeta, fuck that dude. Okay, I'm just saying, it's weird. It's weird how she's playing favorites and picking... I don't know. Maybe because it relates to Rue more than the fact that Thresh is a different... You know, I don't know. Anyway. So it's kind of interesting. The rain is actually controlled by the capital, which is weird. And apparently the rain just stops out of nowhere. And I want to know why they did the rain thing. They were probably doing it for Cato and Thresh fighting or something like that. And apparently they can project moons and shit in the sky, so that's interesting too. And now we learn it's been about 2 weeks in the arena. Or no, 1 week. No, yeah, 2 weeks in the arena. Yeah, it's been about 3 weeks altogether, so it's 2 weeks in the arena and a week preparing for it. So we learned that it's been about 14 days. It's interesting, because, you know, it seems like it's only been a week, but apparently it's been 2 weeks, so there you go. And then I love how Katniss starts thinking about, like, you know, what would she be like if she didn't have to get food all the time? Because seriously, her whole life revolves around food, like I've said, you know. Every single fucking second of her life she's been thinking about food, so, you know, it's kind of hilarious to be like, wow, what would I even do? You know, that's crazy. I mean, imagine, you know, it's like if you took, you know, most of us, you know, if we had like a full-time job, went to school or something like that, you know, and then you just took that away, it's like, oh, what do I do now? And just kind of chill out, I guess, you know. So anyway, so this is something that I got wrong that I reviewed, that I would say, you know, I didn't really think about this, and I don't know why I didn't. Katniss was like, you know, I said that Katniss was probably selfish because she didn't want to have kids. But it turns out that she may not be selfish, because I thought she was like, oh, it's another mouth to feed. But I didn't even connect this, that if you have kids, they're going to be picked for the Hunger Games too. So, obviously, that's a good reason for not wanting to have kids. And I can actually understand Gale, her hating Gale now, for wanting to have kids too. I can understand it. I don't agree with the hating thing, but I can understand where she's coming from. So I apologize to Katniss for that. But, alright, one more thing. I don't know if this is significant, but she says, my kid, it's like, she basically says, I'll never marry. Never risk bringing a child in the world. It's never going to happen. And then the next thing is, the sun shines on Peeta's face. Like, what does that mean? That Peeta and Katniss are going to make babies? You know, it's kind of like, you'll see it in, you know, most movies, they'll be like, who could possibly have done this? Cuts to, like, the character that did it, but you don't know at the time. It's kind of obvious. But anyway, or maybe it's just trying to say that, you know, Peeta, you know, what about Peeta? What would he do in this situation? But anyway. And I like how they're joking around with Effie. You know, they're kind of like messing around with the manners and everything. That's hilarious. You know, I want to know, and, you know, I've been thinking, like, what's going to happen with, you know, when they get back. So I'm really anticipated with that. So let me talk about something. This is really important. Okay. I've been thinking, is it against the rules for a sponsor to send a tribute a map of where all the other tributes are? Is that against the rules? Because I think that would be kind of cheating, but I think this would be what I would have done if I wrote this book. Because, you know, Peeta and Katniss seem to be having like this little safe haven, and it's actually kind of, it's kind of foreshadowing something here that she says, you know, basically, you know, it's been raining a lot, so we don't have to worry about getting tracked or anything. And she was like, yeah, otherwise I wouldn't risk going back to the same cave because Cato would be after us. It's kind of, it's saying like, you know, maybe Cato will be finding you. And I think it may have to do with something like a sponsor sending Cato some kind of thing, like saying, hey, they're over here. I don't know if you're allowed to do that. It probably costs a lot of money, but I'm sure Katniss is, once, you know, some people don't like Katniss in the capital, so who knows? Maybe they'll be helping Cato out, not because they like Cato, because they want to see Katniss die. So that's what I think. Yep. So apparently Peeta's a big, loud thumper, and he sucks at hunting, and that's no biggie. You know, I love how, you know, she's like, yeah, Gale's probably laughing at Peeta, going like, ha, you should stick with me, babe. You don't want to be with Peeta, he makes too much noise. And I love how they depict Gale as like super quiet and super creepy. It makes sense. Gale is pretty much a pedophile, honestly. I mean, he does like a girl younger than him under the legal age limit. Just saying Gale's a pedophile, just saying. Okay. So let's talk about some more foreshadowing, okay? And this is what I was thinking. You know, what's going to happen in Catching Fire? You know, if the Hunger Games ends, what's the story now? You know, going to try and bring down the Capitol or something like that? I mean, some kind of rebellion? You know? And I was thinking, you know, there's all these characters that are mentioned in the past, you know, Titan and all these things. I was like, wait a minute. Those are past tribute winners. Maybe Katniss and Peeta, if they win, I don't know. You know, probably. You know, maybe they're going to eventually meet all these past winners that they talk about. You know, maybe that's what's going to happen. Maybe I should pay more attention to that because, you know, maybe she's going to encounter Titan or encounter I can't remember district. I think she was District 3, some girl that won, you know. You know, maybe she's going to encounter all of them and they're going to do some kind of mentor battle. I don't know. That'd be kind of interesting. And then one more thing I want to talk about is that it wasn't really in here. I just started thinking about that. I was like, oh, wait a minute. You know, when this ends, those characters might become to light soon, like Madge and all these other characters that are mentioned, Greasy Sigh and, you know, the old lady from the butcher shop and all that stuff. But here's something. The Nightlock berries, apparently they're like really deadly and they'll kill you pretty much instantly. I guarantee that this is going to be used somehow later. They wouldn't mention these. I'm starting to see that I need to pay attention to this because I guarantee that these things are going to be very significant later. Maybe Katniss will poison someone's meal. Maybe she'll, you know what she should do? Claudius Temple-Smith. I don't know if that's really supposed to be a bad guy. I guess so. She could poison his meal, but it wouldn't make sense. I guess that he would know about the berries, so he wouldn't fall for that. Maybe, I don't know. I think that'd be a pretty interesting strategy. You know, poisoning all the high officials' meals or something like that. Like have Katniss be an insider now that he's really deep inside. You know, she's really good with everything. You know, now it's like, oh, well, let's sneak this into his meal, you know? I don't know. It'd be kind of interesting. I don't know. I'm just saying. So then we find out that Foxface dies, and the killer is Peeta. Because he left out some cheese and the berries, the killer berries. And I guess she's pretty good at sneaking food and stuff. But it's kind of disappointing that Foxface was just, that's it. You know, there's just no epicness, just Foxface just dies. You know, what's the point of her even being there? I don't know. Whatever. So, now it's just Katniss, Katniss, and Peeta. Ready to kill them and stuff, so. So apparently, I don't know if the next 2 chapters are going to have to deal with them fighting Kato, but I don't know. I don't know how it's going to end. Very close to the end. I'm actually going to read the next chapter right now after I'm done with this. Alright, I am David. I'm going to go now. Hopefully you like this review. And I'm going to go.